So we all know, I don't care unless it truly the only person I think in the Bravo universe they would not bring back right now is NeNe Leakes. That is it. That's it.
I agree with you. I agree with you. I mean, you know, to your point about, and Andy did also say in the same interview, Jeff said, true or false, housewives have been let go, not brought back because they're difficult to work with. Like, forget about how they're, and he's like, true, 100% true.
Oh, sure. So, that's true. Yeah.
But, you know, and I don't want to tie this in with Jill, but like, Jill's not just back for Girls Trip. Like, let's just cut to the chase. There's no RHONY OG show, which when that goes forward, that will include Jill Zarin. I mean, I can tell you 100% Jill will be getting an apple for that show. She's in. We're not doing an OG show without Jill Zarin. Sorry.
Oh,
anyway. It's not happening. Did we talked last time about Sonia Morgan and Luann show, right? We talked about that.
Okay, give me this. Okay, you have the scoop on this. I did see a very.
Did we talk about that last time? No. I'm losing my mind. We talked about this off air.
We didn't. This is new news that the two of them are doing a spinoff, right? And even Sonia put it on her Instagram. But to be honest, I did not dig into this. So what's the deal?
Look, I've been hearing about this show, me, behind the scenes, from the second they announced this whole RHONY cancellation and that all the apple holders were fired, because that's what happened. They're fired. Ramona's fired. And I've heard about this, that these two had a show. Now it's out there. Look, if you read the words, it says this is not greenlit. It's in development, like a development, and they hope to have it greenlit very soon. That, to me, Luann I love her dearly. Between Luann and Sonia, do they have connections at Page Six? This isn't Access Hollywood. This isn't TMZ. Do they have connections at Page Six? Yeah, this is New York City. So could a team put this out via Page Six? Sure, because there's nothing incorrect that was reported. It says it's not green lit, and you know, call in like, let's put this out to the universe. Sure, let's put it out there. There's no show. You listen, you're in the business, Sarah. You're in the business.
There's no show.
Not green lit yet means nothing. Guess what, everybody? Sarah and I have a show too, and it's also not green lit. So we're gonna keep you posted on that. And I'm not knocking them. It could happen.
Think their strategy is for putting that out to appear in demand, to let people know that they are open to offers? What do you think? Because I think that is a risky move.
You do?
Yes, because I think it can backfire in our business of like, do they have any interest? And I almost seem like that to me is like, they have no interest even from Bravo. I don't know. Now, I tend to look at things like sometimes, I don't know, from both point of view or maybe a little bit negative. I mean, maybe it's a very smart strategic move because it's saying to other networks, we're available. And you know what? E-News, you talk about E-News, you talk about Hulu right now. I mean, Netflix, Amazon, they're all looking for their next, selling sunset. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's a very smart move because maybe they're not really under contract with Bravo to some degree. They can entertain other offers. And that gets, because I also know in this business, people are not creative. You have to bring full ideas executed to them. And then they end up taking credit for it, but you usually get paid. So that's a good thing. But maybe they're putting it out there to another executive at another,
Listen, I feel...
Thoughts?
I tend to look at things with a little bit of a negative slant too, but I think it's just because we know how the sausage is made. I feel, since you blew my load on Carlos King that he is coming on, we talked about Bethany and Bethany saying like she would only come back. Like Carlos says this on an upcoming episode of my show. Bethany put it out there that I will come back if we can get all the OGs, knowing probably that Alex McCord will never do it, but also to say, look at how many likes this got. Look at how many retweets. Like, this is my worth. This is my worth. This is what you're going to pay me.
Smart.
And I'm like, that's right. And Carlos is a producer. So I always say I think like a producer. And so I feel, look, I don't know if it hurt them. I think you have nothing to lose at this point. Why not put it out there? But true. I also feel like look, I have so many things to say. Like, the average person says, unfortunately, I have to spend $5,000 and I don't want to, but I have to make a sizzle reel because I'm going to E and I'm going to Netflix. You have to knock on a door, and unless someone's going to do it for you, you've got to spend your own money and come up with that sizzle reel. I don't think Luann or Sonja are used to that. So I don't think they even went and knocked on any doors and said, here's a sizzle reel that we invested in and we spent the money. To me, this is like they're knocking on the doors. Like, that's how you do it, guys. Like, these housewife shows in demand, you have the sizzle reel, and now you have to go. You got to get into E, and you got to get into the OWN network, and you got to get into USA. And that sizzle reel, as cheap as you think it is, it ain't cheap, as you know, Sarah. So, but you got to do it. So I feel that knowing housewives and knowing how these minds work, because it's my life's work that I've thrown away my whole life and career for this, just to entertain the masses here behind the velvet rope. Housewives will not buy you a cup of coffee if you ask. So I'm sorry, I'm just being honest, not insulting anyone, but I don't think that they did this sizzle reel, and maybe because it's Luann and Sonja, you don't really have to do that because you have countless and billion hours, but it's a different thing when there's no Ramona and there's no Bethany and there's no Jill and there's no, God help us, Leah McSweeney. And like, it's when it's just the two of you, we kind of need to see what that looks like. I think this was their sizzle reel, and I don't think there's anything negative, but I also personally don't think this is a show that would be greenlit by a network. I'm being very honest.
Really?
For a lot of reasons. And
Really?
by the way,
Let's
just for
talk
everyone who
about it.
doesn't, and just for everyone who doesn't know, the concept was Simple Life, Paris and Nicole. They're going to go to like Kansas or somewhere, no offense to Kansas, but like in the middle of the country where there's like not as developed as, I guess I did just offend Kansas. I'm sorry. But
I actually, the more we talk about it, I kind of like it. I mean, I want Luann and Sonja on the road, hooking up with 30-year-old men. Luann's show, I want them going to the Simple Life, doing various things. I don't hate it. You know what? And look,
I don't hate it.
We've seen dwindling numbers. Okay. You're talking even RHOA, 700,000 people viewing an episode, 800,000. Now, you know, in streaming, a lot of people DVR. So probably afterwards, you're talking 1.5 million. But night of, you know, you're talking low numbers, right? I think those two could get, I mean, they are well-known names. I think they could get 500, 600,000 views, another 500, 600,000 views later. Again, maybe they're not making Bravo money, but I mean, they could stay on TV at another network. And I think people love Luann. In fact, I mean, and Sonja.
And Sonja.
I saw a viral TikTok of a guy who went to Luann's show, and he said it was one of the best shows. He said she was self-deprecating. She was funny as fuck. She made, you know,
phenomenal
fun of her exes. She sang. He said it was and he said, look, I wasn't even a huge Luann fan. And this show was like great. And then of course it had hundreds and hundreds of comments, and it had gone viral. I mean, they have a following, a very big one. Now I'm like, you and I should hit them up and be like, we'll produce it.
We will produce it. Listen, I love Luann. Her live show is phenomenal. I mean, I've heard from her. She's down the street from me in Sag Harbor. We've texted the other day. I mean, I'm supposed to go over there for lunch in Fosé. We'll see if that happens, but that's the invitation that was put out. Listen, I could see it happening. The one network, if you want to gun to the head, I see this on E. I see this on E. E has lost everything. There's no more E network. It's within the NBC family. They like when you're kind of already a